Foremost means more. More training, more information, more ways to grow your business. Find out what Foremost can mean for you at foremostagent.com. Click on Foremost Means More.
The cornerstone of former Attorney General Eliot Spitzer's campaign against AIG and Hank Greenberg was a general reinsurance, finite reinsurance transaction. We asked Hank Greenberg, author of a new book on the AIG story, about that transaction and the role of finite reinsurance. Cornerstone, as weak as it was, of Spitzer's charges against you was the general finite reinsurance transaction, for which there was never any evidence of any wrongdoing by you.
That's correct.
There did end up being a restatement, but it was minor in its impact on financials. But I wonder today, what is your view of that transaction and of the use of finite reinsurance in situations like that to address reserves?
Well, first of all, finite reinsurance has been around longer than I've been around. There's nothing wrong with finite reinsurance. You have to remember that we had gross reserves of about $40 billion and net reserves about $25 billion at the time. So the amount involved in the finite deal that we had done with Gen Re was minuscule comparatively. We had just consolidated Transatlantic Re in AIG that quarter, and they were paying off catastrophe losses. So their reserves went down by $40 million, which is not. The total AIG reduction in reserves was $56 million out of $25 billion, okay? It's a rounding error. It's not meaningful, all right? And so by doing a finite deal, you get premium and you get losses, and the expenses are very low, so it helps your expense ratio overall, and you get more premium. And so there's nothing improper about it.
If it's done right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You describe, you have described, I believe, a CEO as a company's chief risk officer. Yeah. And you have talent for knowing when to get in on a risk or a market and when to get out. And I know you don't want to give away your game plan or give your competitors an upshot here, but I wonder, how do you, is it just experience? Are there other tools or information you use to know when to jump in or out? You know,
it's like saying you're going to a doctor, you got 5 different doctors. You get 5 opinions, and many of them are all different. But one of them is more right than the other. Okay? You have a feel, you have a knowledge, you have a combination of many things that make it one different from another.